टाटा रियल्टी और सेल्सफोर्स की एआई आधारित ग्राहक सेवा के लिए साझेदारी। भारत के प्रमुख रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स में से एक टाटा रियल्टी एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लिमिटेड सेल्सफोर्स की एजेंट फोर्स तकनीक का उपयोग करके 24 घंटे ग्राहक सेवा और रियल टाइम जानकारी उपलब्ध करा रही है। इससे ग्राहकों को जवाब मिलने का समय कई दिनों से घटकर लगभग 8 घंटे तक आ गया है। साथ ही ईमेल खोलने की दर 50-60% तक बढ़ गई है। मुंबई, 20 मई 2026। टाटा सन्स की प्रमुख सहायक कंपनी टाटा रियल्टी एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लिमिटेड (TRIL) और दुनिया की नंबर 1 AI CRM कंपनी सेल्सफोर्स ने मिलकर आज घोषणा की कि CRM ने अपने सभी प्रोजेक्ट्स में ग्राहक संवाद को बेहतर बनाने के लिए सेल्सफोर्स के एजेंट फोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म को सफलतापूर्वक लागू किया है।
तो वहाँ पे obviously I hire people who speak Tamil in Bangalore, Canada. So this is just the beginning. I mean, Hindi is something that we always wanted. Voice is something, so that's obviously the next step. In our website today, all the early selling conversations are handled through our AI agent called Nestor, which is currently its voice is not there. It's completely on the agentic AI Salesforce platform, Agentforce platform. Now with voice coming in, we are going to move to Hindi, and as more languages come in, obviously, I mean, आपने जो बोला, if there is somebody who is speaking in Marathi with me, I will like it very much. तो मेरे से कोई हिंदी में बात करेगा, if somebody is speaking my language, that's a no-brainer. I mean, 100% we will go ahead with it.
So, ma'am, I would like to ask you another question. That once AI is there in place, तो जो लोग जब कॉल करके बताते हैं कि मेरा ये प्रॉब्लम है, तो वो लोग अपने तरीके से करते हैं। AI will understand that what is his pain points. So do you think the people might even understand that this is some human speaking, and then they start, an irate customer might fight with it?
No, so normally agents they declare themselves. आप अभी भी कोई भी वेबसाइट में जाए तो वहाँ के जो एजेंट है उसके ऊपर जो चैटबॉट है वो बोलता है कि मैं ये हूँ, चैटबॉट हूँ और आप मुझसे आपके लिए मैं क्या सेवा कर सकती हूँ या कर सकता हूँ। Okay, so it will be the same with agents. They will declare themselves. At no point of time are we going to have agents masquerade as human beings. This is very clearly put up over there. Now, if in spite of that the person really wants to talk to a human being, there is always a way in which the agents can hand this over seamlessly to the human being with the summary of all that has gone ahead, okay, so that the human being can then start responding. If you look at the help.salesforce.co helpline that we have, 2% of the queries that come on still go to the human agents. So it is not as though the humans have all been removed from the entire chain. Zaruri ho तो उसको तो 100% it will have to be handed over, and that ज़रूरत can either be put forth by the customer or be determined by the agent also, depending upon the way we have, given the agent permissions to do things and put the guardrails. So accordingly, it can go to human beings.
Great.
I mean, it's always difficult to speak to agent or call. Because it takes a lot of time because they understand their language. When it comes to human, because I have a problem with something and I have to talk to people. So they understand their language. The thing is, sorry, please come again. That's the only thing we have to face it. So what language should they understand? What we have to do?
So currently we obviously have English, but we also have just launched Hindi and English. Okay, because English is also very much a language that is spoken by a lot of people. So it's a mixture of Hindi and English. It will understand that. Now the other Indian languages are currently in beta. A number of these languages will get added in the next few months. Okay, and the hope is therefore that once these languages get added, that they will be able to recognize whoever is speaking in whatever language and be able to respond accordingly.
But they understand that. See now example, what I want to say is, now you know what I want to say, but the language, the thing,
the agent will understand. The agent will
understand. To go that way.
No, the agents understand. And in any case, you will be given a choice कि आप हिंदी में बात करना चाहते हैं, इंग्लिश में बात करना चाहते हैं, तमिल में बात करना चाहते हैं, नहीं तो आप बताइए किस में बात करना चाहते हैं। तो आप अगर बोलेंगे कि मैं तमिल में बात करना चाहता हूँ, so that's fine. They will also speak to them and speak to you in Tamil if that language is already there. Hindi, it means there will be languages in India. India, after all, has 22, official languages or recognized languages. We will not have that many, but the most commonly spoken languages will definitely come under the agents.
Thank you.
So how do you measure ROI after deploying Agent Force compared to traditional automation? Yes.
So like we said, see clearly the return on marketing spend, and if you see the number of email clicks, I mean, if you are spending X amount of money to generate so many emails to be read, and now the amount of money that we are spending, this is different, it's totally chalk and cheese. So in Salesforce itself, I mean, for each, when you create campaigns, for each media, you assign a budget, and against that you track leads, and against leads, opportunities, conversion. So that entire flow, it's completely available on a Tableau dashboard. So you come to know what's your cost per lead, what's your cost per email getting click, and we have seen fabulous results over there. So I mean, ROI is definitely something that's getting delivered.
One thing I want to say, ROI, when we talk about it, it's not only quantitative, it's also qualitative. Okay, so what is the NPS? What is the market share? What is the customer satisfaction score? All of these also work into your ROI. So you cannot just say bottom line, top line are the only two things that show you the return.
I think perfect. I must saying that. So there's a quantum leap in our NPS score. I mean, just imagine as a customer, if you are getting a revert after 7 days, and if now you are getting it in 4 hours, obviously, yeah. And across 17 touch points on the Salesforce platform, we are getting this from the customers, the CSS and the NPS. So it's gone very close to 100.
Thank you.
How do you ensure that, I'm talking about the back end, how do you ensure that disparate databases are able to, or fragmented databases come to a common database before, otherwise you honestly have hallucinations and you blame it on the LLM when actually it's not the fault of the LLM. How do you ensure that the data is clean?
Sure, I think that's a great question. In any organization, the fragmentation of data and the ability to leverage that data is the opportunity that will unlock the agentic opportunity, right? So whether it's structured data that sits in columns and rows and mobile numbers tagged to your names, etc. So structured data or unstructured data, think about all your respective organizations. If you think about the digital transformation journey that companies have been on, this whole concept of data lakes and data cloud, and that exists. So for Salesforce as an example, this ability to have a data cloud layer that sits on top of all your internal applications that can then consume all the information, right? But also, also the fact that we can also have a zero copy partnership with a lot of the other data lakes, whether it's AWS or if you're a customer who's already built your data lake on Databricks or Snowflake. We don't want you to throw all of that intelligence away, right? Because a lot of money and time has been built in creating a single source of truth, right? Whoever has done whatever. So the zero copy integration allows companies to leverage the infrastructure that they've already created about creating a single source of truth for the for the customer, and then that becomes a source of information to help make decisions. But as an example, if you're if you're a bank if I'm a home loan customer who's applying to a bank and you don't know whether I am M. Chauhan or Man with a Kiran separately, or you're not able to unify it. So a lot of the data cloud, the philosophy of the data cloud layer that we have is to say, how do we get a single back to the single source of truth? How do you DDU, as an example, right? Like M. Chauhan is the same as Man Kiran, or may have with a common identifier. Might be a deduplication that gets done. So the simplification and deduplication before an action can get done is the opportunity at the data layer for us in data cloud. But what I also want to say is that because of the zero copy opportunity, we're able to have customers leverage their data investment so that they can then build
there were two other things that we have, we deploy on the data cloud, which is the MuleSoft product and the Informatica piece that we just acquired. Actually, what MuleSoft does very well is integrate data from applications. Okay, MuleSoft also runs an agent fabric, meaning it can orchestrate multiple agents across the entire, company. The other thing that MuleSoft does very well is also API governance. Okay. Similarly, on Informatica side, Informatica is very good at cataloging your data across your entire organization. It doesn't matter whether it's structured, unstructured, or wherever it is. Okay. And Informatica is also known for its governance, data governance layer. So all of this, when you use it together for your data 360 solution that we give, it actually gives you a solid, robust, harmonized data that gives you that golden record of a particular customer on which you can definitely rely.
Hello, I'm Aratrika from Express Computer. Hello ma'am, hello sir. Sir, I have a question for you. As you mentioned that Tata Realty is moving towards autonomous AI agents. I'm sure different customers will have different requirements. So, what kind of guardrails are you putting in place to balance automation and human touch while interacting with customers?
No, I think that's a great question. And see, the very reason that we opted for Salesforce and Agentforce is to have the ability of setting the guardrails the way we want. And now the entire data is in the single ecosystem, and the most important part over here is the governance part. Now, had we chosen some other solution, whatever governance that we have set over here, we would have to replicate it somewhere else. Now, over here, the data getting into data 360 and whatever the authorizations that you have set in the Salesforce platform, they get replicated over here. So the person who is supposed to get access to that information is only able to get that data, so nobody else. So that helps a lot. And again, the most important thing is the context that Mankiran said. Data 360 provides that context because it's grounded on only our data. LLM is being used for maybe articulating, but the data is our data, and all the communication that the agent does is only based on our clean data. So I think that solves the problem for us.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so see, I'll tell you, I mean, the digital transformation journey actually started in 2020, and although this seems something very gradual, but in 2020, when COVID stuck and all organizations started identifying digital transformation as a way to do business, I think that's the time we partnered with Salesforce. And we implemented the Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, then it was called Data Cloud, now Data 360. I think we went through that entire journey. We built Tableau dashboards. So the data cleansing activity, prepping up of data, making it available for decision making is something that was continual process. It's not like it happened overnight. And when Agentforce came in, there was already data available which was in some form available for AI usage. We had to do work on that as well. But what helped us was that we did not have the challenge of having data in multiple systems. We were completely on the Salesforce platform. Everything was available at one particular place. So that, I think that's the very reason why we are ahead of the curve. I mean, we have done much more than a lot more people have been able to do because they have the data in disparate sources. I think, and I should thank Salesforce. I mean, we visited their SIC. I think a lot of work happened with them. And I think we jointly envisioned this customer first initiative that got curated at that time, and it's a culmination of that effort.
See, while Tata Realty had the advantage of having the data and the workflows already on us, and therefore the agents came organically on top of it, like the agent declared, that doesn't always happen. If you saw the keynote, there is a layer of context, there is a layer of work, okay, on top of which the agent declare sits. Now this layer of context, which is the data, and the layer of work, which are the workflows, if they are on Salesforce, then absolutely we have no issues. It is only when we went headless, we've just got the headless agents. At this point of time, therefore, even if you are not organically on the Salesforce platforms, even then, even if you are on anything else, that means maybe the data is in, say, Databricks or Snowflake, the workflows are on, say, Microsoft or somebody else, even then we can build that headless agent, because today now we have the ability to go draw from all of these and create the right kind of agentic output. So today we are not dependent on the fact that you have to be only on these platforms. If you are only on these platforms, it becomes very easy. It's extremely easy to turn on the agents on top of that. If it is not, then we have to build the headless. And again, that's not something very difficult, but it can be done it's quite easy nowadays.
Any last question?
Hi ma'am. Ma'am, for the agent force, maybe down 3 years the line, what is the roadmap look like? What are the next
It's a lot of time. Lot of time. Do you realize what 3 years is?
Yes, it's a long time, but
It's a very long time.
yeah, so like, or what are the new upcoming features we can expect?
No,
from
so
it?
upcoming features, of course, one of the things that will definitely happen in the next wave will be robotic. So robotic agents. Today, for instance, like chatbots, robots are meant for one job only, or they know what to do one job. They will also get infused with agentic, okay? So that they will know what to do and what not to do and things like that. That is expected to be the next wave that will happen. But there will be several other waves. And we are looking at AGI and we don't know whether it will happen faster or slower, what time it will happen, what time it will take. It's like crystal ball gazing. But one thing I can tell you is that the speed at which it is evolving is enormous. It's really, really very fast. And I have at least, I don't know about you, and I'm sure you will agree with me, I have never seen anything evolve this fast. Every morning I wake up thinking that probably things are still the same and find something else has come. And for people like us who are on this side seeing the things happening, we have to keep enabling our people. That is, they have to keep learning the new things. And it's not easy. It's not easy to keep up with the speed at which things are going.
Ma'am, yesterday we were discussing about super agents, how one manager agent could, control subordinate agents in an overall workflow. So wanted to understand a bit more about that, how Salesforce is looking into that. Are you experimenting with something on those lines, or can we expect something around those use cases?
You showed the sub-agents already.
Yeah, I think in the keynote we showed about the sub-agents, but I'll take an example. Sorry, what was your name?
Debankana,
so we showed it as an example, saying you could have in Slack bot itself, you could have we have Tableau dashboards. So when I want to run my business, I want to understand what is my forecast today or what business is closed today. So there is a reporting agent with information that sits there. I might be coming to meet with Girish and I want to know, okay, what's the relationship, there might be a sales agent that can help me curate a pitch to say, okay, based on what he's already done, maybe I want to go sell Agentforce Voice to him on his current chatbot, right? So I have a sales agent there. But I'm also a manager managing teams and we, yesterday we completed our employee internal survey. So I also want to know, what is the completion rate of my team? Now, 3 different conversations that I can also just, use the Slackbot agent to say, hey, tell me about how I should prioritize my day, because that has access to my calendar and also has the ability to then say, okay, the sales agent will help me do this, but it gives me one unified view to say, as an employee, this is what it is, right? Let me give you a context as an example in a bank, back to the home loan conversation. If you're applying for a home loan, you're going to need a CIBIL score, right? Your financials have to be checked. So there is a small agent that maybe gets spun off to say, okay, let's go check the financial credibility. The second agent may be a document agent. I need to check the passport or whatever, right? Like whatever is your Aadhaar verification, address proof, all of that verification has to happen. There is a maker checker, there is going to be a verification agent to say is this being done correctly. So on so on. There will be many other threads. Ma'am can obviously talk with a lot more authenticity about running a bank, but I'm having a tukka on what the agents might be, right? So there will be multiple agents, and that all sits in the overall arching agent to say the loan, the decisioning is happening, the decisioning, this is worthy of decisioning or not. Now that agent is counting on all of these smaller sub-agents to help make the decision for the big picture. So that's an example at one of our customer side, but that's what we mean by a super agent. That for one agent to get something, there are different types of things. A document agent is looking at documents and analyzing a document agent, which is very different than an API that's being pulled to get your CIBIL score. But they're all helping make the decision happen from whether you or not should get the loan. Right? That's an example of that.
So I'm from Informatica acquisition team, just joined Salesforce 2 months back. So my question is that you just mentioned Informatica is very good at data cataloging, master data management and data governance. So I just wanted to know what is Informatica's role in Salesforce agentic revolution? How much do we play a role over there?
See, the thing is, Informatica with the product is available, and when we are pitching to our customers, we showcase the need for such products, and if the customer finds it suitable, they opt for it. If they think this is something that is going to add value to them, and we showcase the value that it brings, then the customer opts for it, and obviously, it's sold to them as an SKU, because now that we have merged, it has become part of the Salesforce bouquet of products. Okay, so it does play a big part, and that's the reason why I think the two companies agreed to merge, because each one was strengthening the other. Okay, so there is definitely a good role that is played by Informatica, and we are more than glad to have Informatica on board and be able to showcase it to our clients.
Well, thank you so much for your questions.
Thank you. One last question. Hi, Martina. Actually, I had a question around the headless 360. So, obviously, you gave an example that Tata Realty was already on Agent Force and it became easier for the deployment. But if an organization is still running a traditional system, will it be easier, faster for deployment, and will it be cost efficient for them to get on a headless 360, or will they have to go through an overall rip and replace system and bring headless into their system?
It's a great question, I think very pertinent question with the headless. So let's understand what headless basically means. It's the decoupling of the user interface with the architecture. Right? So from we've explained the system of work and context and engagement and agency and how it's open, and then you can bring in whether it's different data, bring your own model. There are customers who will want to work on Anthropic, there's someone who wants to work on OpenAI, right? By definition, Salesforce's architecture has always been open, by design. But what we've said is that you do not want to necessarily be locked into the Salesforce UI per se. So if you've already got a mobile application that you build that you want to leverage, you should be able to leverage the architecture and the power of the architecture, because it's grounded in the context. You already run sales or service or marketing, right? But you may, tomorrow, God knows, right? In 6 months, Girish may say, mujhe iski shakal nahi achhi lagti, I want to use something else, like that's cooler, newer, whatever, right? We don't want to be restricting him to be able to use something that works for them in the context of maybe their sellers in Tata Realty say this is more a better way of imagining customer experience. We don't want to lock that. That should not be the reason that they're not able to leverage the data. Is the whole point of point of headless, right? So for customers who are already who run legacy, when we explained, saying if you run legacy applications, you're still going to have to be able to extract the value of the legacy application. You're still going to have to take that question that Jennifer asked about data. Right? The data still has to come out. We're no longer, we're making it easier for customers to leverage the data that exists, leveraging the architecture.
Yeah. And will it be cost efficient, or they will have to flip the balance sheet for them?
Flip the balance sheet. I wish our customers were flipping the balance sheet to buy Salesforce. Hopefully, if anything, you walked at the camera today and seen customers of all sizes and shapes work with Salesforce across industries. Clearly, they're not flipping the balance sheets to be our customers. Hopefully, Girish, you will say that. I'm happy to take more revenue, more growth. But it will certainly be an area that I think customers have to see what works for them. It's not just one thing, right? Like there will be other aspects to how they will make the decision. So I don't think cost is the only element when it comes to decision. Thank you.
Thank you.